Hi everyone, it's Chris aka Lady Taka, and it is time for this week's haul video of thrift store, one rummage sale, and a church bazaar. I was wrong last week. The St. Peter's Bazaar is not this week, so you won't get a jewelry haul this week. That'll be next week. But it was the put everything in a bag for $5 sale, and I managed to fit 40 items. Although 3 of them were ones I put in by mistake because I just grabbed a little bag of toys where the first 3 I pulled out were all the same brand, but I got a few Beanie Babies in there. So they acted as cushioning, if nothing else, for some of the other pieces. So my main theme for the week was ornaments because that's all I found before this church sale today. So most of these items, if I don't say otherwise, were 12 to 13 cents each based on the thing in the bag. I forgot to grab it, but I grabbed these 3 things because if you remember a while back, I think in July or August, I found, maybe even earlier, I found that mouse plaque that's like a cheese board, and it says life is more than just bread and, water. And it was missing a cheese knife, and this is a cheese knife. So I'm going to put that with that. And then, so it came with 2 other knives, so I'll probably just list those real cheap. It looks like a wine bottle one and a flip-flop. So it doesn't look like they were any real theme ones in here together, but and then I only got 4 books. They're all comic book related, like comics. Heathcliff, All American, Heathcliff Cool Cat, and then got a Hagar the Horrible and Marmaduke, which I'll feel like they're definitely vintage printings. And so like one of them's a 1988 printing, and another one is 1976 copyright. I don't see anything newer. So I was out when I was looking for these. I was looking for word searches for Dad. It's looking like I'm actually gonna have to like go online and find him like a lot of word searches. They're just not available anymore. So the first thing I put in my bag was this pretty little kidney-shaped bean bowl that screams 1970s, and it is marked Italy on the bottom. And so it's like this blue and gold stripe outside and this like very limey green on the inside. And then I did grab this just thinking it looked really cute. American Tech and Hardware Company. Figure someone might be looking for a nice light cover accent for their nursery. These are some of the toys I didn't know were at the bottom. So we've got a few beanies. Teeny beanie named Bones. The ladybug one. So these acted more as cushioning than anything. And then got a little elephant keychain here with a rope tail. And it is marked CAP, at least that's what I think that says. And then when I pulled it out of the bag, I found this one that said Unipack. And I was like, is that actually a company that like this would be a representation of for my ad collection? And I'm like, you know what? It's throw everything in the bag. I need some cushioning because I got that bowl already. So I grabbed this bag because this one and this one both said Unipack. One's a polar bear, one's a monkey. And I assume they might both be made to just hang off of a bag because they have little Velcro things on there, although this one doesn't seem to be holding very well, but this one does. And then there was this one in there, a different polar bear, and he's marked Small of the Wild. So again, they just acted as cushioning. I grabbed these. I need to cut off a strand that got caught on something else in the bag, but I grabbed them mainly for cushioning because I'm not sure I trust them to actually be good hot pads, but has a few snags, but they acted as good cushioning and they're hilarious, and I'm sure they're like Fred and Friends or one of those companies because they like to do it. I really hope the frame for one of the 3 shots it auto saves into your YouTube video picks this frame. So I grabbed those to cushion this dish because this was a little interesting. It's like a boar on top. of a casserole. And it is marked Porcelain a Few, Apple Co. France. So I know that's a good brand. I've had other things by them. And then I grabbed this Treasure Craft Hawaiian hula dancer. It is an official Treasure Craft of Hawaii, USA. It has got both its mark and its sticker still on it. I'm not sure if she was designed to be this crazy looking or if that's just all the crazing that's happened to her over the years. Her dress definitely looks like it has a pattern to it now. And I grabbed this bulldog or French bully, maybe. Not actually a chip, but he feels a little rough around that ear. But it's white and gold accented. And I thought it interesting that it was both a cat and a dog. And it is marked on the bottom, Germany. I'll have to see what I think that symbol is, whether I'm not even sure which way it goes, but it looked good quality. And I got this cute little Charming Tales trinket dish. I guess it's a cookie plate called Holly Daydreams. But I don't find any chips or anything in it, so we'll get that one listed right away for the Christmas stuff. This is one of those shows I've never actually watched a full episode of. Like, I watched 1 or 2 episodes of Young Sheldon, but I've never actually watched a full episode of The Big Bang. But I've watched all the clips of the show pretty much through Facebook Reels and that. But it's a set of mini wacky wobbler bobbleheads. Generally, I don't like humanoid bobbleheads, but since it was the complete set in box, I thought I'd grab it. So you have the main 4 guys and Penny. This I paid $1.54 at Salvation this week, which has been closed for the past month. Refurbishing, I guess. They may have painted the walls, but they painted them the exact same color they were before. And apparently they refreshened the tile floors and then rearranged everything and got 3 of the best sections away. Oh no, it doesn't look as fun to shop anymore. But I got this Fitz and Floyd. This is supposed to be a wabbit trying to carry in a tree. Glass globe. It came in a box, but not its own box. So I was willing to pay the extra 50 cents for the box. It came in because it's a nice shipping box. And then I paid 50 cents for this one. I hate these bags. This ornament at St. Vinny's. St. Vinny's Marquette put out their ornaments this week. It says it's a cranberry computer with 2 mice on it. And I had another computer mouse one that sold. I know that. So I'm guessing it's supposed to be like one of the first laptops because it's so much smaller than normal computers. And then I went to a Rummage sale that was Wednesday only, and they had $1 on each of these. They do not have their original inserts. This one they at least had some bubble wrap on. The other 2 they didn't, but it's obvious someone in the household was a firefighter. So I grabbed this one that says in case of emergency break glass, and that's a little chipmunk on top. And I love the detail of you can actually see his little paw marks in the snow. So I paid $1 a piece for these since they still had their boxes in that. And then this don't have their inserts though. This one is kind of funny because it's Santa on a North Pole. So I thought that one was just hilarious. It's called North Pole Firefighter, but it almost looks like he's going to be a stripper. And then the third firefighter one is this 2 little mice on a candle. And I guess that's supposed to be why it shows a more blue in direct sunlight, that water drip. But they're apparently going to put out the water. It is called Flame Fighting Friends. Again, no insert, but does have the original box. And then the other 2 ornaments I got that weren't part of the bag sale was this one for $1, which I don't even know how I got it back in the bag, let alone out of the bag. A cool elephant carousel ornament, and it is not marked at all. I suspect it might be Avon, but I'm not 100% sure. And then this one, I think I sold one very similar to it before, which is why I was fine paying the 75 cents. Because I think it sold for like $20 before. And it's a goose for 6 days. You know, on the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese a laying. So, and it's laying a golden egg. I'm pretty sure I sold that one before. And then, again, the rest will all be like 13 cents each. So while I hate her because these wings suck, for 13 cents I can make her record wings when I want to put her on there. Diane something belonged to my mother, Dorothy. So someone put a piece of tape in here. I'll take that out. But she's going to transform into a weeping angel from Doctor Who. Only sold one so far this year. More ornaments that I got. Merry Merry Christmas, a Ziggy Star ornament. I got 2 that are kind of like bears. Dads with tools. So we got Dad's Workshop instead of Santa's, and Dad 1991, and he's got some instructions ready to assemble, and the other one has a saw and a tool belt, but you could actually cut yourself on that saw. It's sharp. And then I may just put this in Dad's Christmas Village. It's Hermie, the dentist from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I already have a Rudolph ornament. Maybe I'll go to him next to that. I think this originally had a magnet on it because there's like glue marks on the back, but it's a little fishing creel basket with fish. And then a mom-to-be kangaroo ornament, a little more specific. And then I think this is supposed to be a skiing Santa, but the skis didn't separate very well in the painting. But he looks like a very, very, very vintage porcelain ornament. The only thing I resisted and didn't put in my bag was a giant Santa face with where the light bulb was in his nose would glow red, because the wiring looked very sketchy. I don't know how to redo wiring, and I really didn't have any more room in my bag. Grabbed this toy of Big Bird. When you roll him, his head and tail and arms move. He does have a little wind-up thing here, but you can just roll him physically. That's how I tested him there, so it wouldn't like go off for 12 minutes. I got 3 of these Filipino guys that were obviously tourist pieces, but double-faced creature. I don't know. Lucky Moon doll. My name is Moony Moony. So she's got 2 faces. And then I found Charmy Charm. I might just sell these as a lot. And then the one with the sword is called the Bajuga Warrior. But they all have their tags in that still. And then I'm sure he's just a cheap skeleton, but I do love things that wear hats. So I just grabbed this little skeleton shelf sitter. And then got this very heavy pewter. There's a little plaque that says from Ruth 881 maybe, or 681 and 120. I don't know what that means. Originally, someone was trying to sell it for $2, but it was on the general tables. Not the specific pay the price table. Like they have a jewelry table and then some other things they set aside, but this was someone's older label. But this is definitely pewter of some kind on metal, this giant eagle. It is heavy. And then the rest of my things, I think, are all Wallace and Gromit toys. I didn't open them, but I could just see the words Wallace and Gromit, and I got really, really freaking excited. So I don't know if I got repeats or anything. I just grabbed the whole bag. My 40 count does include each individual toy and thing. All right, so we got Gromit in a plane. in the bag, and a second grommet in a plane. All right. So, and then we've got grommet with Feathers McGraw on like a chaser set. So you got him on the side and him. I don't know. I don't want to take them out of bags till I price them. I do have Wallace and Gromit already, and I do think I have a Feathers McGraw in plush. We've got Wallace on his motorcycle, and then this one's the one I'll probably keep because it's the doggy and a Shaun the Sheep. This one I'm keeping, so we'll just open it up. The other ones I might sell, but I don't have a Shaun the Sheep or the dog from his show. So we're going to just take, and since they are definitely attached together, I guess he's, oh, okay, what are we doing here? There we go. Apparently, they are hooked together. I don't know if while he walks, he's supposed to, look, I took him right out of the bag, so tell me why this doesn't work right out of the bag. But I can always cut them apart and just display them. Apparently, these are Hardy's toys from 2001, but I'll definitely keep this one for Shaun the Sheep. So that's it. I will put my Trashkateer Treasure stores on Etsy and eBay links down below. Thanks for watching. Next week I'll hopefully have just as good of a haul because I'll have the jewelry bag, which will be more expensive, and then Prince of Peace has theirs next week. So thanks for watching.